Welcome to Sunday's Heart to Heart. Wonder what's on my mind today. I seem to come up with these topics and these subjects that a lot of people are interested in. And so far I really haven't gotten that much negativity about them. Of course there's a few here and there. But you know, I got to thinking today. Whatever happened to the mom and pop stores? You know what I mean. The mom and pop stores. The stores that you used to go to as a child. Everybody was friendly and the door always seemed to open. You could buy a pack of gum or a Coca-Cola or a little bar of ice cream. It was fun going to the mom and pop stores. I remember as a child riding my bike and meeting my niece, and we would ride our bikes together to the little bookstore. You know, we've come a long way in society. We have the big Walmarts and the big Costco's and Sam's Clubs and all of these warehouse places, but somehow I think we lost out a little bit. We lost out on the Americana of the small mom and pop store. So let's discuss it, shall we? Feels good to take a break from washing those dishes. I had a lot of big roasting pans. So I thought I'd sit down and talk to you a little bit about corporate America and the pros and cons of it all. You know, they say, Tessie, it's progress, corporate America. Well, you can go into Walmart 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can buy really reduced priced items and goods. They say, it's corporate America, Tessie. It is the innovation of products made cheaply, and it's the innovation of being able to buy things that normally you couldn't afford. But it seems like we're losing out. We're losing out on so much of the mom and pop stores. The mom and pop stores sure brings back a lot of memories. Now, I'm not that old. I'm 49 years old, but I sure remember when around every corner there was a mom and pop store. You had the pizza stores and the little grocery stores. How about the stores that they used to repair shoes? How about the little eyeglass stores where the old elderly gentleman was behind the counter? And the drug stores. Oh, I remember them. It seems like yesterday sometimes when I think about how the mom and pop stores filled my life with wonder. It was so much fun going in there and seeing all of the shiny toys that I always wanted. Sadly, through the 80s and the 90s, the mom and pop stores were no longer. One by one, their doors were shut and they would become vacant. It's so sad when you drive past these stores and you see them vacant. A lot of them have become dilapidated only to be torn down to have some big parking lot or something fancy. I wish we'd go back to the Americana that I had as a child. I wish we'd go back to those days, but it's not going to happen. I understand that the mom and pop stores were no longer able to afford having their stores open. When big Walmarts came in, they couldn't compete with those prices. The items they got weren't really from China, and they couldn't have such low prices. Every once in a while you'll drive by and you'll see one of them. And you'll walk in and they're so happy to see you. They say, thank you for stopping in. And their eyes twinkle and they look so bright and cheery. These are the ones that I call the diehards. The ones that are going to keep on going until the going gets tough and they can't anymore. I know quite a few of the owners are putting their life savings in these last years. They're putting everything they got just to hold on to that dream. To hold on to the dream of having a little store. But slowly their dream is being snuffed out. Day by day they're closing, and depending on the city that you're in, I don't know if there's much of any left. You have the rural places in Idaho and places like that where I'm sure there are a few mom and pop stores. But in the metropolises of the Philadelphia and Baltimore and all of them places in my state, you're not seeing very many of them. And it's a sad, sad fact of life that there's so much of my childhood my grandchildren will never understand. So what do? Modern conveniences, old-fashioned values. Which do we want? We say we want the old-fashioned values, but yet we want the modern conveniences. Doesn't always seem to hold out that way now, does it? My granddaughters don't know what it's like to have a phone with a cord on the end of it. My granddaughters don't know what it's like to have a typewriter. Even a calculator they find quite strange. Hanging my wash on the line? Mama, what's that? They say. I'm teaching them the old ways, because maybe someday the old ways will become the new ways. Now there is a thought. What happens when corporate America can no longer buy their cheap items at China, Japan? What happens if something happens to corporate America? Now there's a thought. There's a thought a lot of us don't want to think about. So I hope I gave you a little bit of food for thought, and like always, I love to hear your comments. Comment them below. Wow! Amazing. When I first started my topics on my heart-to-hearts that were a little more controversial, I admit, I was like this. I was looking around thinking, oh boy, Tessie, what did you do now? I bite my fingernails thinking, oh, but they turned out to be amazing, a blessing. The comments have changed my life and a lot of times my perspective. And I thank you so much for it. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Today we're going to read from Fanny's diary, and we're on January the 27th, 1943. I also want to share with you, sometimes the dates don't correlate with her diary. Maybe some days she forgot to write in a diary and then wrote it the day after. Also, you have to keep in mind, in 1943 and 1942, the days were on different days of the week. So for January the 27th, she has it as a Tuesday, 1943. She said, I washed and dried the clothing indoors. It snowed the greater part of the day. I had oyster pie for dinner. In an upcoming video, I'm going to share with you once again what her diary looks like, so you can see her handwriting. I did a video about 6 months ago and everybody seemed to enjoy it. So I'll make sure I have an upcoming video just showing you how this raggedy old diary looks and how beautiful heirloom it is to me.